So today we were honored to be part of the U.S. Congressional Commemorative Partners Program, where our town made an application to say that we were going to hold an event sometime during the last 5 years, which was today, March 29th, which is National Vietnam Veterans Welcome Recognition Day. We were able to provide pins to those to properly welcome them home, along with a certificate and a proclamation by then President Trump, who enacted this in 2017. We also, very lucky, very fortunate to be able to have 2 surviving spouses that were present and provide them with a pin as well, a commemorative pin for their loved ones who not necessarily died in the line of duty, but gave their life because of that service. So we're very fortunate to be able to provide those as well. To take a small minute, like we did at the very beginning of the program where I read that very moving poem, it kind of gives you time to reflect and make you wonder too, society was totally different. The country is in a different place today as it was, some 50 years ago, of course. It's good now to look at that, to pause for a moment, to take the time to say thank you for your service and really mean it, and really welcome those men and women home who didn't get that opportunity. If not for them, I've been deployed multiple times around the globe myself. Each and every time I come home, there's some sort of a rousing celebration or ceremony, whether it's in the town, in the airport, on the airplane, with just the captain thanking us for being on there. It's so regular now, but it was because of them. It was because that society realized, hey, you may not necessarily support the politics, you may not necessarily support the war, but it's the soldier, the sailor, the airman, and the Marine that you should support always, because they're here for all of us. We take an oath, we swear to give our lives in defense of this country, and I think each and every one of us, men and women who do that, really mean it. So to be thanked, it's worth more than $1 million, right? It's you can't count how much it's worth. So. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have 1,000 hours, and we're going to start like we normally do here in Hingham with all events with the Pledge of Allegiance. So I would ask that those of you who can stand, please stand, face the flag of our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. My name is Senior Chief Petty Officer Keith German. I'm the Director of Veterans Services here for the town of Hingham, and I welcome all of you that are gathered here today. Yes, please take your seats. For the invocation today, I'm going to read a poem by an author who's unknown. And I ask that each of us take that time for some quiet reflection. November 3rd, 1970, the day I came home from Vietnam. I turned back for one last look as I boarded the plane. It was a place I was sure I would never see again. Thankfully, I was wrong, but at the time, I was just so happy to be leaving alive. I expected a rowdy flight home. At liftoff, a rousing cheer catapulted us upward. GIs laughed and pinned their purple hearts to the uniforms of smiling flight attendants. After a few moments of backslapping, the plane went silent. I looked back at those behind me, quiet faces, some tear-stained faces. After a gasp of exuberance, they had quickly drawn back into themselves. I couldn't tell if they were looking backward or forward, but they had quietly drifted somewhere. We recrossed the international date line, regaining those hours that we had lost. For me, a bonus. More life to spend with loved ones. For others, those extra hours would extend the pain of remembrance and the frustration of readjustment. For some, this was indeed a freedom bird, but many were being carried to a new kind of prison. So again, thank you all for being here today. I'd like to tell you why we're here in the town of Hingham and its willingness to apply for and pursue membership in the U.S. Commemorative Partner Program, which started several years ago. I'd like to thank former Veterans Council Chairman Dave Sargent and current member Mary Ann Blackmere, who greatly assisted in making this day a reality for Hingham. Thank you, LT. Come on. I'll now read the 5 objectives which are stated up here on our poster. So why we're here: to thank and honor veterans of the Vietnam War, including personnel who were held as prisoners of war or listed as missing in action, for their service and sacrifice on behalf of the United States, and to thank and honor the families of these veterans. Number 2, to highlight the service of the armed forces during the Vietnam War and contributions of federal agencies and governmental and non-governmental organizations that served with or in support of the armed forces. To pay tribute to the contributions made on the home front by the people of the United States during the Vietnam War. 4, to highlight the advances in technology, science, and medicine related to military research conducted during the Vietnam War. And 5, to recognize the contributions and sacrifices made by the allies of the United States during the war. Joining this program, this commemorative program, cost the town of Hingham nothing. But it costs the men and women that are gathered here today everything. So in order to bring tribute to them, we will be presenting them with commemorative pins. We will start with the veterans. They'll each receive a pin, a salute, a thank you, a welcome home. And then we'll move on to those Gold Star, or those who lost loved ones because of the war, those who are no longer with us. But before we do that, I'd like to recognize our honored guests, state and local officials. Again, all the veterans from all branches and their surviving spouses who served the nation from 1955 to 1975, a hearty welcome home. Elected officials with us today from Senator O'Connor's office, Lou Rizzo. Elected official from our Select Board Chairman, Joe Fisher. Town Administrator Tom Mayo, Assistant Michelle Mansour, Hingham Police Department Chief Jones and his officers, and other staff members of Town Hall. At this time, I'd like to welcome up Lou to say a few words on behalf of our senator. Lou?
Thank you, Keith. Welcome, everyone. This, to me, is a very moving moment. First off, I would like to apologize to Senator O'Connor. He couldn't make it. He's in at the State House. Since everything's opened up over there, he's been at it like 24/7. There's just so much going on. He felt very badly he couldn't be here. For my own personal feelings about this, my dad served in World War II as an Army medic. I have 2 sons that served in the Marine Corps during the current War on Terror. And my age, I didn't qualify at that time. Vietnam was coming to an end. And it wasn't that I didn't qualify, I didn't mean it that way. My age bracket, they had just done away with the draft. But one of my greatest regrets when I look back in my life is that I didn't serve my country. So my heart goes out to each and every one of you that have. And I just want to thank you very deeply for your service to our country and your sacrifice. Thank you.
Select Board Chair, Mr. Joe Fisher.
Good morning. My father was a veteran World War II, and it's really an honor to be here among you. Hingham salutes you. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now commence the ceremony. I will ask that everyone stay in place right now. I'd like to pin those men and that I see sitting. And then I'll ask for those of you who are receiving a pin, that means you served in the armed forces anywhere in the globe between 1955 and 1975, to come up to the carpet, stand in a formation or a row, if you will, and we can easily go down the row and pin you properly. So if I could get my two assistants. So now, if you would, those men and women, please step forward to the carpet. Stay in a single rank and we'll come right down and pin you properly. Come on down this way. Let's get plenty of room. Fill it in. Okay? You guys know the drill. Fill it in. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Another one. Double clap it. Don't pull me over. Will you please? Good. I grip like everybody.
Uh-oh.
I can't bet it.
Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. At this time, I'll have you step back if there's any surviving spouses. So surviving spouses at the time of death of a veteran who served on active duty in any armed forces of the United States during the period of service from November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975, regardless of location of service, is eligible to receive this lapel pin. Okay. You gonna take one for your mom? Come on. This is for her mom. Tell her thank you for her service. Did I miss anyone? Great. Thank you, ladies. Couldn't do it without you daily. So, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone knows of anyone, we'll have these pins up until April 1st. Simply let them know, and I'll gladly present it to them up in the office. But again, I thank you all for coming out today. But before we conclude, again, this was kind of the, I don't know how to say it properly, but the brainstorming activity between myself and the then chair, Dave Sargent, who was a platoon commander, lieutenant in the Vietnam at the time. And I'd like to bring the mic up to you just to say a few words, if you would. Stay there. We'll come to you.
Sure. My brief statement would be that I never knew in 1967 that I had in front of me 40 years from there the acquaintance of such distinguished men and women who I met here in Hingham, mainly through Keith, and I'm very proud to be a part of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Keith. That concludes today's ceremony. Again, welcome home, everybody. Welcome home.